Yo. There he is. There he is.
Good
GM.
morning.
GM Free Market. How are you today?
I am good morning.
GM. Good morrow.
I am good. I am good morrow. I am good morning. I'm GM. I'm GN. I am F to the M.
F to the M to the C.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I'll tell you right now. People are insufficiently bullish, R2. I know it has been.
I thought you want them to be bearish. Isn't that what?
I know it is hard out there. And I know these last 2 weeks I have seemed like a crazy person, pounding the table, saying bottom is in, bullish news cycle on the way. My friend, we are but mere blocks away from the Robson test going live for ETH. People are insufficiently bullish.
I think I could actually listen to you live commentary on the Robstein test network going live. There would be nothing to say. Like, okay, it's going live. Boom, we're live. And then it's just going to say, okay, block number 1 is down in the... And we like listen to that for a couple hours. I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't really know. It's working. Cool.
Man,
good to go.
Well, I asked you yesterday because, I'm just, I'm a carnival barker out here. You dig into the weeds. I was like, so how long is this test going to take? Like 2-3 hours?
Yeah. You're
like, well, wait, will we know by noon? Tell me, what's going to happen here?
Oh, good. It works. It's been working for an hour. Like, send it live. Let's go. No, I mean, it's got a couple more test networks to go, but beta testing for anything substantial often takes months. And I would assume with a network valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars that they are going to be they're going to be throwing whatever they can at it. Yeah.
Do you do like stress tests, or is it just basically
yeah.
Is it
on Robstein you can call as much ETH test ETH as you want, right? So I would imagine they'll have a network of computers that are going to really ramp up the load on it, and then of course I'm sure the white hat hackers are going to be going after some of the bug bounties that they've offered up. I think they've increased it to over $1 million per bug bounty that's been that's discovered for major ones. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean it's
white hat hackers going to have a good few months here. It seems.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean,
if they find anything, I mean, I'm sure Vitalik and his team has been, kicking the wheels for a while here, looking for any bugs they could find.
Yeah, no doubt they're going to have done their own diligence as much as possible.
I know it's been a meme, blah blah blah. When was it actually announced? How many years after ETH? Because remember, I'm kind of new, I'm not a crypto native, as they say.
The switch to proof of stake has been in the works since I've been in crypto, so at least 2017. I don't know the history of it before then.
When did ETH ICO? 17 or 16?
No, 14.
Oh, 14. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Because there was the first hard fork. I know about this because of that stupid
ETH Classic,
or whatever. And
yeah, that was a big hack or something that they rolled back the entire chain, and then of course everyone said, "Well, is it really decentralized?" And they're like, "Well, we don't really fucking care." Because
oh my god,
we have to fix this.
You remember the Bitcoin maxi who said that he doesn't own chairs because it's like negative EV to buy chairs while Bitcoin is going up, right? You don't buy depreciating assets. Do you remember this meme?
Yes.
End of last year or whatever. That guy, anytime Vitalik used to tweet, would hop on and talk about that, like the rollback or whatever. Like he would just he was obsessed. He was obsessed with that rollback. Like it couldn't be decentral, just like you're saying, all that shit.
Yeah.
That's the greatest meme of all time, by the way, guys. If you don't know, he seriously answered somebody's question saying that he doesn't own chairs in his house because he wouldn't spend his Bitcoin on a depreciating asset yet.
You still got to live your life.
Yes, I agree with this. There's limits.
Buy a chair. Sit
Look,
down.
if you're a single dude,
What the fuck is the point? Yeah.
I am a big proponent of mattress on the floor, TV, and laptop. Maybe one trash can. You don't need anything else. I mean, men are very efficient, but as you get to that stage where you're financially stable and starting to court young ladies, you're going to have to at least get that spring box they put under the mattress.
And for the love of fucking God, clean your bathroom.
Yes, that's a big men
yeah.
forget that. Men forget that.
Oh my God. I remember, I walked into my chronically single friend's place while we were going out to a bar before, and walked into the bathroom. I'm like, dude, tomorrow, like, the first thing you're doing is cleaning that shit up. I'm like, you're never gonna get a girl to stick around if they walk into that fucking bathroom. They gotta sit down to do their thing. And just remember, sitting down requires a lot of skin contact on surfaces.
You guys may not think
this is the real alpha, right?
Thank you. I was gonna say, because you guys may not think this is the alpha, but
alpha.
just go look at crypto Twitter. These guys do not know how to talk to girls, and they need a little help, because you're gonna make your millions, but then you're gonna want companionship. All right, don't try to get the companionship before you got to focus. Okay,
even if you're just searching for short-term companionship, like even if you just want to be, I made millions of dollars, I'm gonna be a playboy, whatever. Like, clean your fucking bathroom, or pay someone. You make that much money, pay someone to clean your bathroom.
Exactly right. If you're making millions, pay somebody, or just remember the telly is always available. Take them to the telly. All right.
Speaking of crypto Twitter, you retweeted this, but one of my favorite comments coming out of the Telegram leak discussion on Twitter is, the fact that it is clearly fake because they're implying guys in crypto have sex. So
exactly. And
nice
the meme over the last week on crypto Twitter has been, should a guy pay for a girl's meal on the first date?
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, interesting. They were saying it was someone were saying it was an investment.
You understand? This defines how nobody is getting laid in Web3. Like, it shouldn't even be a question. What are you even talking about? This is not. Hello. If you invite a young lady out, you got to pay. If she invites you out, you got to insist to pay. Period.
But don't. Yeah, that's a very nuanced conversation. But yeah.
No, generalize it. Trust me.
No, look. You want to generalize it. Like, remember, like, what everyone's means are too, because I knew somebody, a really, really close friend of mine, their first cousin. So this isn't a friend of a friend situation. They won one of the big lotteries in the States, like, one of the like $100+ million ones, right? Big money. They were living in Florida, like around like Tiger Woods neighborhood or whatever, like, and they said it was incredible how often they'd go out with their friends to like just a run-of-the-mill generic place, and everybody would just immediately look at them to pay. Like, oh, you're picking this up, right? Oh, you're picking this up, right? And they're like, if I'm going to invite all of my friends who are, working class and whatever to a 5-star restaurant where it's $1,000 a head, like, hell yeah, I'm paying. Yeah. But if we're just gonna go out, we're going to the beach or something, we're picking up hot dogs, or you're going to McDonald's, I'm like, sorry, I'm not like, they're not the ATM machine on everything, right? There are definitely circumstances you invite somebody out that, to a place that they don't necessarily have the means to comfortably pay for. Like, yeah, have some tact. But we could talk about this one for a long time.
We could. Crypto Twitter's been on. You know what it is? I'm looking around right now, and I know everybody's made it. I see all the people who are still here. You've made it. I see it on your faces, whether your MetaMask balance reflects it or not. Crypto Twitter's feeling it. Good things are coming, everybody. Good things are coming.
Going to just say to Dekenza, yeah, you can clean up just before someone's coming, but it's it's good practice.
And Dekenza, I love you. But if you have any of those hanging on the wall, you need to take them down before she comes over, okay?
Oh, you're an artist.
Yeah, it's just, don't get me wrong. 2-3 dates in, you got to introduce her to your passion. It's,
I love drawing.
It's just not something you need to explain on the first date. It's not bad. It's just not worth
I love it. I kind of like this little chat thing on the side here too.
Me too. I didn't know you could do that.
It takes up a lot of the screen. So like if I bring like this up, like it gets kind of small.
Right.
Maybe we can do something about that. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask this question to the chat too. If I have this pulled up, because my dashboard is not in full screen, can you like comfortably read what's on the screen there? Like, can you read all of the prices and everything? Like for me, it looks really kind of a little janky, but I'm gonna let you guys answer that and whatnot, because I kind of like this chat thing. I want you guys to be chatting and being a part of it. And plus, people watch the replays, and they can follow along with the chat if it's there too.
So I want you guys to understand. Remember, I was talking about technical reasons technical reasons that miners can't sell before the merge. All right, that's one side of it, and I want to point out about what proof of stake does for ETH as far as mining sell pressure. Right now, $8.5 million of ETH is sold every day because of proof of work. That means we need to buy $8.6 million worth of ETH every day to keep the price flat. Period. Okay.
Yeah, the constant sell pressure. Yeah.
That's your basic equation.
Plus the rewards, or is that including it?
Yes, it includes the rewards.
Okay,
all right.
Gotcha. Yep.
Once the merge happens, that flips to $10 million. That $10 million of daily sell pressure I just talked to you about turns into $8 million of buy pressure. Okay, think about this. Because of how proof of stake works, it completely flips the script. Now, because of the deflationary aspect combined with how proof of stake works, it goes from you have to buy $8 million a day to keep it flat to you have to sell $10 million a day to keep it from going up. Think about it. Think about this dynamic flipping, okay? This is the greatest thing. This will be the greatest investment any of you make in your lifetimes, given what is about to happen right now. As I am not a coder or a technician, I will send the thread to R2. This is well understood. It is not like one crazy guy's theory, and I'll send this over to you.
In Discord, I'm assuming.
In Discord, you're assuming. I just got it. So, coming right now. Bring it up on the screen. There's a chart there. So the visualization is better than me.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Yep.
Better than me talking.
So let's talk through this, and I'm gonna pull up the other tweet too. Was it this guy?
It really is.
So let's talk. Let's talk about this. The Ropsten testnet merge will happen when the total difficulty hits 50 with a lot of zeros. That quadrillion, I don't know.
We're at like 49 or 50 something.
48 right there. So a couple 12 to 24 hours is the estimates that are going on here. Cool. That's great. It'll switch over and we'll start to test it. The merge is I haven't read this part, so just we're reading it together in real time. The merge is a substantial change in supply-demand forces most people underestimate. Multiple millions of daily sell pressure on ETH will now be replaced by buy pressure. Every day, we will need new sellers to prevent the price from going up. Let that sink in.
Read the thread a little bit. Just the next one, then it gets too technical, but maybe the next one underneath.
If the merge happened today, $10 million of daily sell pressure on ETH would be replaced by $8 million of buy pressure. While we now require $10 million of new money every day to keep the price flat, we would need $8 million of existing holders to sell their ETH to prevent the price from going up. Before we get to these calculations, let's clarify what we are doing and how. Objective, we want to see the impact of the merge if it happened today. Parameters, there are facts and assumptions. If you want to skip the theory, just scroll down until you see the table with the data. Yeah, this goes on and on and on.
I mean, but
let me just give this guy a shout out. We're talking Corpy87. You can go check him out on Twitter if you want to read the whole thread. It looks very technically oriented. Technicals. That's what I'm trying to say. But yes, if this is assumed to be true, that is pretty incredible. I guess my question is, and this is always the debate, because as you've pointed out multiple times on this show, when you're buying ETH, you are not buying the Ethereum network or shares in the Ethereum network. You are buying the gas to which powers the Ethereum network.
The Ether token, not Ethereum.
Correct. If this is deflationary, then you would assume that, yes, price goes up. But there is always the underlying question of, this is a speculative asset and the price is where it is because people are speculating on its future value, which in some way, shape, or form is tied to the network's value. However, there's reasonable statements that say a high ETH price is not good for the network because it just means higher fees and higher, all of that stuff. And they're saying that the price of it should never be this high. And I know you don't subscribe to that because you just said ETH is going to be the greatest investment you ever make in your life. But do you think there's any merit to that? Here's my question.
Yeah.
Sorry. The price of gasoline for your car going up, does that make cars more valuable or less valuable? And by extension, does that make roads valuable? And this is my question, right? So,
correct.
I think it's an honest conversation. I subscribe to ETH going up too, by the way, but it's important to not put ourselves in an echo chamber and just talk about this shit.
I do think ETH is going up to $100,000, and then I think it's going to fall to $10,000 in the 2030s, and that's probably what it's worth. Okay, so it's probably worth 5x where it is from here, though, because of how hype cycles and human beings are great at seeing the future. They're so good at it that they pull all the gains forward most of the time. That's what we saw in the late 90s, and I think that's what we're going to see here in the late 20s. So that is what I expect to happen. And it's going to be about efficiencies, and it's going to be about layer twos and how people interact. I think that
efficiencies are what you nailed it there.
Yeah. Right. No, I mean, and that it's always what I expect. It's the underlying movement in all things are more efficient and more technologically advanced. And I think it's going to come from both ends. I think the Ethereum Foundation will continue to iterate, and I think developers will continue to figure out ways to use gas more efficiently. So Mike Track, we are not even remotely in a recession. Not even remotely. There is not one data point you could show me that shows that we're in a recession. I have tweeted about it ad nauseum for so long. It is the stupidest thing I have seen in financial media up until now. There's literally not one metric out there that points to recession. It's ridiculous. Not only that, inflation has been easing now for over a month. It's the main reason that the Fed is raising. And very soon they're going to realize they're ahead of the curve and they've gone too far, and they're going to have to pause and start reducing the speed in which they raise rates.
So I'm going to go back to that efficiency statement that you said, and I'm going to counter my own points about it being low. There was a point in time where the gasoline price for cars was substantially lower than it is now, like substantially lower. Obviously, the supply was higher and the demand was lower, but cars were also incredibly inefficient compared to where they are today, right? As the gas prices have gone up, you get a lot more bang for your buck on those gas prices. So I think it's obviously you're feeling the effects of it at the pump when you go and pump up your car. Like, believe me, I put $100 of gas in my car the other day and it did not fill it up. That stung a little bit, but my car compared to cars that were being driven 50, 60 years ago goes a hell of a lot farther. And I think that's what you're going to see from the Ethereum network. Like there's zero part of me that thinks ETH 2.0 get hits, proof of stake hits, mainnet goes live, everything works great, gas prices go down, throughput on the network goes up. There's no way that they're going to be like, yep, cool, we did it. Click the close button, let it run, and off they go on to something else. Like, this is going to be something that continues to get more efficient, and the gas will continue to get more efficient. We've seen that in NFTs in real time over the last 8 months. Contracts 8 months ago spent a lot of fucking gas. This free mint meta that we're in right now would be completely different, you know, if you're max minting 20 of these free things and then it still costs you 0.2, 0.3 in gas, because that's almost how much it used to be sometimes, especially for a shit contract. It's getting cheaper now, and ETH 2.0 hasn't even hit yet. So there will be the developer pressure to make contracts more efficient. There will be the founder pressure to make Ethereum more efficient. And you will, despite the fact that ETH continues to go up in price, you will probably see a reduction in fees just by virtue of all of those things kind of coalescing.
Yep.
So fret not. ETH goes up. ETH goes up, I guess, a bit today. Oh, we just had a little bit of a bounce. It's been a wild ride.
Last night may have given you an ulcer if you were watching. I will tell you right. I was not for the first time in day. I had things to do, but yeah. Boy, watching the action last night, that's sure. Also into mental illness. That chart,
big ups, big downs. Bitcoin going through it even more a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
Well, that was it. We'll talk about it now. The corn seems to have a very interesting spread in the options market on it, which is a straddle, a 32K straddle, which means that somebody has bet an unseemly amount of money that Bitcoin is going to stay in a $30,000 to $32,000 range. So anytime it gets close to, and we believe this person is in Asia, and they have been timing the buys every 12 hours and the sells, same thing. Anytime it gets close to 32K, they spank it hard. And anytime it gets down to 30K, they just let the buy pressure do what the buy pressure does, because they actually know there's been underlying bull flow for a while. And it seems to have been figured out by the markets as somebody tried to counter the strategy last night, and shit's getting a little loose out there. I actually think the preceding volatility was this person unwinding the trade because they realized people figured it out. So I actually think this straddle is going to be off tonight. We'll see. If it does, if you are leveraged into 1850, I would check yourself. If this person does the same thing, and this would be after the close today, watch ETH. I mean, if ETH were at 1870 after the close, and I was leveraged to the point where I could get stopped out at 1700, I would take that trade off. I'm telling you right now. I don't think it would lose 1700 because of how this person's straddle is, but if they didn't take it off, I expect that to happen again tonight. I do think they took it off. Let's see if I'm right.
We will we'll find out. The Bitcoin chart right now looking like an Arizona skyline, these just mountains that just shoot straight up and then just straight down. You don't see that very, very often, but these swings have been dramatic and fast. So it is a wild ride. As Free Market said, one of the hardest markets you can ever trade. But the people that are doing it well, you know, it is kind of almost a casino right now, where you just kind of, you keep putting money on the roulette thing where it's like 50% odds. And if you go on a bit of a run, it can be very, very bullish, but you can, or very good for your stack, but you can.
Well, shit, if you decided to play the third, if you 3 weeks ago just decided, shit, we're going to crab at 30-32 for a few weeks, you're banking, right? You are banking. I mean, because you literally sell 32 and buy 30 every time. The thing is, again, literally last night, everybody figured out what was going on. The moment that happened, markets try to counter. And if that person is smart, they unwound their trade as quick as they could, which is why I thought we saw the preceding volatility last night. So we'll see.
Yeah. So right now, ETH sitting at, oh God, I just like refreshed again. Oh no, 1825. I don't know if that's just volatility or if
Yeah,
CoinGecko is
no,
just
it's at
being crazy.
1825 right now. It's all over. I mean, stocks just opened too. I think.
Yeah, let's check that out. S&P down
Oh no,
0.1%.
it was at 4130. We're at 4150 now. It has.
Oh, from pre-market. Yeah,
well.
sorry. That's just
Yeah, that was the
day
pre-market.
open. Yeah. No.
Again, I was tweeting out that people are underexposed to risk right now. Again, and I'll say this to you, Mike, I actually expect more worse times later in the year. I think we're going to get bad numbers later in the year. I think we'll even get hints that we could be going into recession. Not that we're in one, okay? And I think this could knock down risk assets back to where we are right now, or pretty close to it. So I don't think this is the end of volatility. I do think this is a price bottom for the summer, and we are going to see a very big counter rally right now, especially with all the bullish flow for crypto. So.
Yeah, I'm going to, I think that's pretty much the commentary you have on the markets today, right? Markets go sideways. Some bullish news actually sitting around right now. PayPal is now letting users transfer Bitcoin and Ethereum to external wallets. PayPal is finally offering a long-demanded feature that will let users move their crypto to external wallets and hardware devices. They were often criticized for the fact that they announced they were having crypto on there. You could buy Bitcoin, you could buy Ethereum, but what could you do with it? Well, not really much. It was just a mechanism to have some exposure to it. So, you know, and the age-old adage of not your keys, not your crypto may now be coming to an end for PayPal. And PayPal is, I think, going to be a pretty important company, I guess, if you want to call it platform. Let's use that word, platform, in the mainstream adoption of crypto, because you know, as things get more mainstream and I get more comfortable with the fact that I do this full time, I start talking to people. You know, I've definitely been telling people a little bit more often than I did before, and it's not that I don't believe in it or I'm uncomfortable with it, but you learn to kind of read which people you can have the conversation with and not. Regardless, there still is this underlying like, okay, but you know, it's not actually real money, right? Like, you know, how does it end up in your bank account? Like, how do you get it? You're just buying these things, right? PayPal is actually incredibly easy to use in terms of that. So this is actually going to be bullish. I mean, there's hundreds of millions of people already onboarded into the platform. They're going to have exposure to it, and now this letting you transfer it out of PayPal is going to maybe entice them a little bit more if they're savvy and they get it. So I think this is important. And by the way, I got to say, using PayPal to actually transfer that into my bank account is free, and it happens very quickly. So as far as a platform to use that I have to use, I actually quite like it. This show not brought to you by PayPal, I promise. Although if they're listening.
These onboarding mechanisms are so friction filled right now. It obviously slows down our adoption curve, and every story like this is a step in the right direction. PayPal, obviously ubiquitous here in North America and many places around the world.
Yeah, there's a legitimacy to it too. Like, it's trusted. You understand that, like, okay, if PayPal is doing this, then it can't be all scams and degen and fake, right? So I honestly I can't say enough good things about it. The free option says it'll show up in your bank about 3 to 5 business days later. I've never had it take more than 24 hours. It's actually quite seamless. And as Free Market said, when you're talking about reducing the friction, it is going to be these big traditional companies that kind of pave the way for that. So I see this, I get excited, and that's pretty cool. I've never used it for an outflow because I don't use PayPal to buy crypto, but it is good news for sure. Let's talk about fuck it. Let's get into the meat of the conversation. I think this is probably the biggest conversation we have. The Telegram leaks. Everyone's been talking about it on Twitter. This Twitter account, a dying nobody, kind of surfaced, put out a link. I'm not clicking it, but lots of people have.
R2 isn't calling him that. That's his screen.
Yeah, no, well, they can see that on this. Oh yeah, if you're not if you're not watching the screen, this guy's dying. He's nobody. No, his name is literally at a dying nobody on Twitter. The account just popped up. Basically just said, hey, I've got a lot of dirt on a lot of people that you wouldn't expect. I found an exploit in 2019 to get into Telegram. Well, actually, let me just read the first few. It does go on quite a long way, but he basically said, I want to come clean. I will likely tear a rift in the entire community while I'm at it and on my way out. Over the course of the next few weeks, I will be releasing 137 gigs of Telegram group chats and messages, of which I was not a part of. Why? This is all thanks to an exploit in October of 2019 that allowed one to access the group page with recent messages if proper permissions were not set up. At the time of this writing, the team at Telegram have been contacted about this. I've only ever seen 2 people mention this exploit in passing, one in person and one on Twitter. So I know I was not the only one. Those who know me will know who I am very soon. For the rest of the populace, it doesn't matter. Due to the overwhelming amount of messages, I formally invite reputable press within the community to reach out in order to obtain sample archives from groups I've already curated, on and on and on. Essentially, going on to not name anybody yet, but saying that there are a lot of bad actors in this space that you don't know or that you would assume are not bad actors. Everybody is part of a cabal that is, making hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm dying, and I'm going to expose them on my deathbed. I think it's got a lot of people up in arms. There's a lot of people that have, I think, pulled the popcorn out and just can't wait to see it all go down. I think there's some red flags here that we should all be cognizant about. I know you do too. First is that quote, never trust the final words of a dying man. Obviously if you're terminally ill or something, that's terrible. And, you don't wish that on anybody, but if now's the time that you decide to just blow the whistle and because you don't have to deal with any of the backlash, like I do think that there's, you do have to remember that, everybody assumes that on your deathbed, you're going to be true and virtuous and tell all the truths and, let out all the dirty secrets that you've known, and it's going to be all good. But there's no recourse once you pass away if you just smear shit all over the walls too. So again, grain of salt. You have some other takes on this.
Yeah, I mean, well, I did not want to bring this up on yesterday's show because the first sentence I read, my bullshit meter went crazy.
And in fairness, we get a lot of that from NFT ethics too, right?
Yeah, it's the same. This is the same type of shit. And boy, did the sensationalists and engagement farmers latch on to this fucking horse shit. And you saw all the people who love to act like moralists and higher than thou say, see, we told you all these bad things were going to. Again, that's not why you're losing money. There's another reason you're losing money, which I won't state on the show. Okay, but it's not these it's not this magical Illuminati cabal, getting together and figuring out how to wreck you. Are there rugs? Sure. That has nothing to do with your P&L. Believe me. Now, this Telegram thing was hacked by some crypto Twitter person who was able to open the zip file. And why? Because the guy kind of left a trail of breadcrumbs in his little thread there about everything. And some guy was able to crack the zip file in whatever. He read over them. There was almost nothing in there of what the guy said. None of the crazy stuff, none of the murders, pedophilia, all that, ridiculous shit that the guy said. None of that was in there. Telegram later in the day came out and said there is no such exploit. And I'm not saying Telegram can't be lying, but when my bullshit meter goes off earlier in the day, we get this guy that hacked the zip file, and then Telegram says that, I say, well, that's enough. That's enough things for me to think it's bullshit. I think this guy was engagement farming, trying to build up a lot of followers on this account, and then I think he's going to change the picture to a Bored Ape and run a contest scam.
Yeah, so the purported date was July 17th or 7th. Everything will be released. Why July 7th?
Period. Throw everything else out. Anytime someone does something, if you have the goods, release it. What do you even fucking do? What are you doing? You're dying. You may not be here in a month. What are you doing? Just fucking release it.
Yeah, and that would be my question. Is like you put this timer on there.
Ridiculous.
And now everybody that's of noteworthy status that thinks they might have had any wrongdoing or was in a Telegram group, they have no way of proving whether or not he was in that Telegram group. And what they're gonna come to him and be like, "Yo, bro, like I've got some spare ETH kicking." Like this almost seems like a honeypot like extortion scam sometimes. You know, like get everybody that's ever done some wrongdoing to come out into the woodworks and maybe, you know, try and give them some hush-hush money. That being said, I don't know what the contents are, but as Free Market said, somebody has cracked it open, and it doesn't appear to be as substantial as it was led to believe in this thread. I also want to add on to this conversation to say that there's zero part of me believes that stuff like this doesn't happen. Like I know full well things behind the scene with big players, with large amounts of liquidity.
Oh, of course.
Team up. They move markets, they pump and dump things. It's been going on forever. As the market gets bigger and bigger, it does become a little bit more difficult for them to do it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess like I'm just an innocent bystander sitting on the sidelines watching all of this go down. So I don't know.
There's just as many scams and bullshit in the regular world that people can lose fiat on. You just have to be sophisticated.
That was the Panama Papers. Those things got released, right. And everyone, ooh, watch the dominoes fall, and like nothing fucking happened.
I mean, do you understand how gigantic the LIBOR rigging scandal was? Like, of all the economic crimes in the last few centuries, Bernie Madoff should have been sent to Club Med compared to fucking the LIBOR scandal. The LIBOR scandal stole more money than anything or any entity has ever stolen in history. And nobody gives a fuck. You know why? Because the minute you start talking about overnight bank lending rates, people's eyes glaze over. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But every contract you have ever seen, signed, or witnessed is based off the LIBOR rate. LIBOR affects every single fucking facet of your life, and just affecting it by 1 basis point is enough to steal billions from around the world. And this scandal doesn't get a fuck tick of press. So there is this shit going on. The problem is the real fucking thefts you don't even care about because you don't understand how they're working. The sensationalist bullshit, it's all exaggerated. It's all overblown. None of this is affecting you on a daily basis. And you'll come up with the one random case or the one random instance where some person is doing this type of thing. This is not the thing for people to be worrying about on a regular basis. LIBOR, that is something you should be thinking about every day.
Chase bought a Picasso while he was in Vegas last weekend. Nice.
Can I borrow some ETH, Chase?
Yeah, seriously. He bought it off the bear market bears pump.
Oh, I thought he got it at Pawn Stars.
It could be. Yeah, I mean, I do have to agree. Well, and I mean, you could even relay this back to something that people did understand. You know, the 2008 bubble or whatever you call it, the housing collapse crisis. What was it? According to that movie, The Big Short, there was like 0 hours of jail time spent in terms of that, right? And everybody did understand that. So I don't know. Pawn Stars, nice.
See? Ha!
Nailed it.
Told you. Called it.
You should have bought a Dekenza.
Yeah, they'll be there soon.
Yeah, on Pawn Stars. This is fascinating to see the reactions on both sides of it, but it's funny because there are the people that genuinely believe it's a viral stunt, and then there's probably the people that are praying it's a viral stunt. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure, motherfucker.
There are people sweating. Oh, 100%.
Woo! Oh yeah, and I'm sure that was part of the thrill of it. Like I don't, there's some power, there's some satisfaction in that too. I'm sure for this person. So it's like,
well, that's like, The DOJ going after Nate from OpenSea. I mean, the guy made 20 ETH of it. Like, you know, at its peak, that was maybe worth what, $80,000. And you know, they're gonna hit him with the books, but it's not because of the $80,000. It's to make everybody else sweat.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody that, you know, he was low hanging fruit. They knew who he worked for. They knew where it was. There's going to be lots of official emails, blah, 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 blah. Whether or not he actually gets, you know, sentenced to prison or not, completely different story. But anybody that is operating, you know, multi-million-dollar schemes and stuff like that or more, you know, you do get a little bit of a sense of like, maybe the jig is up. Maybe the good times are over for that. And I don't think that's a bad thing for this industry.
More and more, always. The more, you know, sunlight is the best disinfectant, and that's what going mainstream is. All right, it's a good thing. Of course, the Wild West right now, there's a lot of risk. It's also your opportunity, and as we are adopted by the masses, this risk will lessen, but so will your opportunity. So it's correlated. It's, you know, that's why to me it's neutral. It's not something I wish for, and it's not something I'm against. It just is the fact of it, and I don't really care. I'm just trying to figure out how I can best profit at every stage of it.
There you go. You profit, Maxi. What else do we got? NFTs, crypto gaming still resilient after May market turbulence, says DAP Radar. The new report suggests the NFT market could decouple from financial markets in the same way art has split from the S&P 500. It's a cool take. This is something that we have said a bunch of times on the show already, and I guess we can go ahead and say it again. There is a real demand brewing for crypto gaming. And I do think that it is going to overtake the underlying assets that they are built on. And this article seems to agree. So there you go.
It is going to be the next major bull run, right? We just went through the PFP bubble, okay? And whatever, you know, even though we had like 2 bear markets during this PFP run, we saw the initial run in last year in the late summer and the fall, and then we saw a little bear market, and then we saw the blow off top earlier this year, and now as they remain in an extended bear where they're not going lower, but they're just going to chill and bounce around in small ranges, some other meta is going to take over, and it's going to be you see it percolating now. Things like Step-In, believe it or not.
Oh, I thought you just said meta is taking over. I get it.
Yeah, no. And things like Step-In are moving in that direction. People thinking about, play to earn. How does it work? Blah, 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 blah. So this is definitely the next major area. It's why we've been so bullish on it yesterday. And man, what a great demonstration by Beef yesterday.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you said that because I was going to bring it up if you didn't.
Please tell us about it, man. It was fabulous.
What is this? Hey guys, if you can please check this mysterious collection out at beginning.
Don't get distracted.
Yeah, I got distracted. EtherOrcs Beef, not community, the marketing lead of EtherOrcs team jumped into the Star Wolves Discord yesterday to do a live demo of EtherOrcs game, and it was the first time that I had really watched it play out in real time with somebody kind of showing the ropes of it, and I got to say, incredibly impressive. And Beef is an incredibly impressive person too. You know, you can clearly feel his passion for the project and for gaming. And again, it made me very bullish on the direction that these games are going. EtherOrcs obviously now, I think it's safe to say at this point, has a long history of delivering on their project and their ideas and what they have going on. They've expanded their team many times over now, and really moving full steam ahead. And, you know, based on what he said they were able to accomplish in the span of, you know, a month and a half with that team and what else they have planned, I gotta say, if I wasn't impressed with EtherOrcs before, I absolutely am now. But he also offered some really incredible insight that I think aligned with us very well, us being you and me, Free Market, and us being over at Star Wolves, what games need to become. And actually, on that note, have an article pulled up that's in the same vein about changing the NFTs narrative is bad, going hand in hand with NFT gaming, Web3 gaming, and all of that. The expectations and the narrative absolutely does have to shift. And one of the great things that I think EtherOrcs did well, and it's often been in our minds, is this idea of, okay, if you own the underlying asset, sure, you can generate, in EtherOrcs' case, some Zug. You can collect it, you can accumulate it, and you can sell it on the open market as a yield. And that's great. But the game provides many mechanisms for you to participate in the ecosystem and farm different things that carry a lot more value than just the Zug, but it requires time and energy to do so. Now, that can sound like work, and it technically is, but when you build a game on top of it that people actually just genuinely want to play, I think it's a very profound thing, because we've seen it in traditional gaming before, and I've said this many times. People will spend hundreds or thousands of hours playing a game in which they will never see a cent back from it, and they're fine with that, and they always have been. And that's just goes to show that the game is fun enough to play, that you are expending time and energy, and the reward is fun. Now, I think that the reward is fun and assets, right? Play and own, not play to own. Your goal in playing the game is not to own these assets. It's not play and earn or play to earn. Your goal is not to play to earn. It's play to have some fucking fun, but being rewarded for your participation in the network, which sounds a lot like proof of work to me.
Yeah, baby. That's why I'm into it. Yeah, very bullish. And man, I don't know if you were able to watch that orcs demonstration and not run out and buy some orcs, man. Just watching Beef take down that lava monster, you realize he pulled like he made easily $500 in front of us playing a game between those two raids and the boxes that he grabbed.
Right. But it wasn't in underlying token. It was in game-specific items that you could actually use in the game to potentially get more yield or upgrade and stuff like that. That is a full, robust economy.
Right. And just
and for those things to be healthy, sorry, I'm going to let you finish in
a
second.
No, please.
For those things to be healthy, it can't just be like, oh, give token, oh, change for money, right? Like, it's got to be like, I'm getting all this cool shit. Oh, I could sell this for a little bit of extra ETH, but I also got this, which I can use to upgrade my character, get new items, all of these different stuff. And the more complex and robust the economy is, just like in the real world, where all of this value has been created because the economy is incredibly complex, the more of that you can layer into a game. Like, let's face it, you go log on to World of Warcraft, they have an incredibly complex economy in it. You just can't extract value from that economy, and that is the layer that's shifting. Sorry.
No, and just so for existing orc players, because I know a lot of people did not like the transition from passive to the actual game, but understand, I can make twice as much playing the game twice a day for 30 minutes than I did passively.
Right.
I'm cool with that. I'm very cool. I'm an hour a day to make more than most. There
is no game in existence that can exist long term and just be passive only.
Right.
Because then what are you doing? Where is this influx of liquidity coming from? People are just, oh, you made a bunch of money, so I'm going to put more money than you did so that I can capture a piece of that pie. And then that person's like, well, I already made my money and the asset value went up. I'm going to sell. You're going to sell to some other sucker that's going to say, I want to passively earn too. Up you go, and then boom, crash down, because there is no underlying value, and that's happened. It's happened in almost every single play game that we've seen so far. I mean, let's face it. Even Raid Party, as much as we like that, and there is some extra layers of gamification, and they are stimulating the ecosystem more. They have to continue to add things and work towards this stuff in the same way that EtherOrcs has. And I believe that they will. That's one of the reasons why I'm still in it. But that initial hype cycle is just like, oh, passive income. Everybody's making money. Woo, 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 woo. The money does not just come out of thin air. It just doesn't.
No. And the, yeah. So it can't just be, no, I was just thinking, it can't just be a yield farm. That was basically what we're summarizing. But, Nick, sorry about that. Before, yes, begin as nothing. The sensation of last night. Can you tell it? I didn't get to see. Was it a free mint last night? Because it is sitting at a 1.3 ETH floor. Last time I checked, could be 1.5 by now. The way sales were flying, absolutely gorgeous art, and leaning into the mystery, which is one of you wanted to. People think this is the free mint meta. I would say this is the mystery meta. This is the occult meta. This is, I think we kind of left the goblin and saying, how is this happening meta, and now people are creating dark, fun fraternity cults and it gorgeous artwork. I believe you mean Pranksy and 888 yesterday. Oh, you had to do it from contract? Damn. But do you know if there was a price? If it was free, I'm going to cope right now. Because not all, forget the cook. I love a good cook, but these are beautiful. If these were sitting at 0.1 on the secondary, I'd be aping right now.
So I'm wondering if the yin and yang of the universe starts to shift towards these utopian style art and stuff like that too, right? Because we have this really dark, morbid kind of stuff, and that kind of fits the bear market that we're in. People are down, people are sad and stuff like that.
And I've always said
maybe the bull market brings the light.
Yeah, and I've always said this, guys. This is a movie, right? These are all entertainment properties. It's
is this generative art too?
I don't know. That's another. I don't know if anyone knows anything, because there's no. How many are there? But
1,000, right? It's not like you just whip those up. I guess you could have.
You said there was 1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense too. I would say at 1 point. The other big cook yesterday. Oh, all right. It was there was a price. Okay. So the other big cook yesterday was the poop. Okay. There is a poop derivative off the goblins that I guess started with 10,000 and they burned 8,700 of them. And I don't remember if it was because it didn't mint out or it was part of their roadmap. Well, the fact that there are only 1,300 left sent these things flying. I believe poop got up to 1.7 yesterday. So there's a little, oh, look at NFTs, the classic NFTs, right? Pile of poop, $5,000.
So meta.
4,000, but whatever. God damn, ETH. Could that be $5,000 again? Could one?
I know it's been weird talking about it too, because I've always operated under ETH being around 3,000 or 4,000.
$3,000. Yeah, that feels like a fair price. What is happening right now? Well, it's a discount.
Undervalued. Yeah.
Undervalued.
Oh, an hour. Cool. Look at that. Time flies. Yeah, I don't know. We are all gonna. Let's finish off with "We Are All Gonna Die" again.
Again, we have 9 lives.
What are you, a cat?
Yes, that is the joke. Thank you. I think yesterday something
was interesting. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Go for it. You go.
Over the last couple days, we've seen 2 things. One was a 69 ETH sale, and one was a 45 ETH sale. That's when that happened, you didn't even see that in Cool Man's universe, right? That is when a collection has found that thing, whatever that thing is. There's obviously a lot more theater coming in these, and people like Andrew Wang aped in yesterday. A lot of influencers got back in, and you can just tell that every time there's a little run and we pull back, it's a new support level. Like there are not a lot of sellers right here at 1.5. Everybody who needed to paper has papered over the last few days, and with more stuff coming from.
By the way, papering is not an insult there. If you got a free mint and you managed to peel a couple of these off at 1.5, good on you.
Look, these were free mint. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm watching a collection go from a fad into something legitimate. We can debate all we want, but when I see 2 sales of that caliber plus a bunch of 3, 5, and 6 ETH sales going off all the time, like people are shopping rares. They're not, this isn't just whatever. I think the people who paid 45 and 69 expect to sell them for 150 and 300. That's just what I think. And I guess that's it. We are gonna die. I think it became the phenomena it wanted to yesterday. Very bullish on it.
You didn't even mention the wild ride that happened during.
Oh fuck! How did I?
Yeah. I thought you were going with that.
My bad. Yeah. So the news yesterday with "We Are Gonna Die" was the delisting from OpenSea, which seems to have lasted a few minutes. Very, very weird because, again, there are some apes who are quite touchy over what this team did the other day, and there were a lot of people celebrating yesterday. Like, this is what happens when you burn an ape. Like, well, now, first of all, what you think? Like, the OpenSea has to ban them because they burned an ape? What kind of weird behind the scenes deal would that be? But that was basically what happened. Is that they were delisted from OpenSea. Nobody knew why.
So here's the question then, and I'll let you finish the rest of it. Was it actually a delisting, or did OpenSea just kind of bug out and the link just temporarily was available?
I got 6 delisting emails. I don't know if it was a bug that did it, but it was an act like out the
I actually don't think I have owned a collection that has gotten delisted. I got remember that
Maury's when Maury's had if open.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Something you own, they send you an email. So I got 6 delisting emails yesterday, and I was like, all right. Again, there were 2 camps. There was like, OpenSea is in Yuga's pocket. They took and then the other camp was, this is part of the performance art.
Yeah, I definitely heard a lot of that.
Now we died.
It makes sense.
This happened live when we were doing the orc demonstration yesterday, and some very savvy, sharp traders were able to pick some up at literally 50% off. Well, guess what happened later in the day? You want to talk about how this is a different project? Okay. Anybody that papered at half the price they were worth because of the delisting woke up to the difference in their wallet. As We Are Gonna Die sent out the difference between the floor price and those sales to everybody who papered because of the delisting. This, my friends, is a different project.
Why would they do that, though? I guess you could argue like it wasn't their fault.
The people who panicked thought that the man was out to get them, and We Are Gonna Die said that's unfair. How dare you guys do that to our holders? You made them so scared they panic sold their NFTs to somebody. Well, we're giving them enough that they could buy it back right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna kind of go off on a like. I was going to draw a parallel between those. Those mints that are coming up and then the Discord gets hacked, and then, you can actually see people in real time being like, well, I'm pretty sure this is a hack, but I'm going to do it anyways because there's a real good chance that the team is going to reimburse me, and I'll probably get on whitelist.
You think OpenSea, who holds a bunch of WAG deals?
No, I know. That's why I'm not like.
So they get the refund. No. It was a delisting, not a hack.
Yeah, Nate's back for his final heist.
Nate. Oh my God, Nate! You better keep your fucking mouth shut, Nate. We are in here. Keep your fucking mouth.
Maybe this guy that's in the Telegram leak is Nate. He's like, I'm going down anyways. You're all coming with me.
Stitches get stitches. I'll just say that. I am it's a complete joke. It's a satire. It is whatever he did, if it was against any laws that are on the books in the United States of America, I expect full book thrown, and I support it, and I love the U.S. government and all entities attached.
I'm gonna record that and just play that at the end of every episode now.
Yeah.
For any federal entities listening, we are
entertainers. Sometimes we stretch things for the haha, but don't take that too seriously. Nate did some fucked up shit, and he probably deserves what's done.
I've often always wondered if we should have that like not financial advice statement at the beginning and the end of the show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We are all gonna die. All right, man. What do you got going on today?
Well, I got the squeeze coming up, and that's about it. Watching the ETH, watching the JPEGs. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for this 50 trillionth danger zone or whatever it's called, and looking forward to that merge test, baby. I expect
your Rangers had a tough night last night again, eh?
What'd you say?
Your Rangers had a tough night last night too, eh?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Then did you watch it? No?
You know, they had a good chance to put away the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first away game, right? You had them 2-0 and then even 2-1 with just a few minutes left in the third period, and they came back and they won that game. That's tough, and they won their second game at home. Guess what? This is the 3-time defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning. I believe it doesn't mean anything. The Rangers have secured home ice advantage. And if it went down to a game 7, I still believe the Rangers would take it. They've already done it once. This is a young team that doesn't give a fuck. And while everybody...
You sound exactly like a Leafs fan going into game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, and everybody had them, everyone was like, oh, the Rangers are going to the Cup after they won 2 games. And then the minute they lose these 2 at home to the World Series, they're like, oh, the Rangers are done. Relax, okay? I think this is going to be a very competitive series still, and I believe the Rangers have quite the shot, and of course, I'm rooting for them.
There you go. New York. Yeah, Edmonton Oilers. Not an Edmonton Oiler fan, but as the last remaining Canadian team in there, I was just going for them. They needed
that win last night, and they fucking had it. Look, it's goaltending, guys. Yeah. Super important. If you have that guy in net that's not going to let more than 2 goals a game, you got a good chance in any shot. But you need goaltending. There was some soft goals. Bad defense too.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals going on tonight too.
Everyone likes Golden State, right?
I don't know, man. I think they do now. They came out with a pretty big statement game in game 2 and won by. I think in the end it was like 18 points, but I mean they were up big for a while there.
They're against Boston.
Yeah. I'm going for Golden State. I fucking hate Boston, but I like. You know what? Actually, I should say I like Boston's team. Like I like the players, the individual players on there and whatnot. But I as a Lakers fan, I can't be a Boston fan.
Well, of course.
Boston's one of those cities too where I don't think anybody outside of Boston should be a Boston fan. I feel the same way. I feel the same way about Philly. Like Philadelphia sports. Like the Flyers kept going on those runs. All of a sudden, you see people wearing like Philly jerseys. I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? Nobody's a fucking Philadelphia fan unless you live in Philadelphia.
The only 2 teams you're allowed to wear nationally are the Knicks and the Lakers, or the Yankees and the Cowboys. These are your and I should have said Yankees, Lakers, and Cowboys. Those are your 3 national teams. I don't know why I threw the Knicks in there. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
Yankees.
Yeah, like in Canada. Yeah, the Leafs. The Leafs
probably
are those. Yeah.
In Canada, I'm sure. Here, I've never seen a Leafs hat.
Really?
Yeah, no cap. No Leafs hat.
Literally. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yes, in Canada, Toronto, and
I don't see people repping hockey. The only time you see it here is like during a Rangers game. You see people wearing their gear because they're going. But
right, yeah,
people
true.
do not care about hockey here. It's terrible. It's my favorite sport by a mile. Like hockey and baseball are my two favorite sports.
It's not an accessible sport. You don't just get to play hockey.
Yeah, true.
Canadians have a hard time wrapping around. They say, "Oh, it deserves to be more popular." I'm like, but who the fuck in the world can play hockey? You have to have access to hundreds of dollars of equipment, if not more. An ice rink, ice time. You have to have enough people around you that can also contribute to a league or something.
Yeah.
It's not an accessible sport. It's like fucking polo. Who the fuck can play a horseback polo? What?
Switzerland, they love hockey. Very popular.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of countries that do, but on a global scale,
Norway,
Sweden, huge.
Sweden, yeah.
You don't see a lot of it in England. You don't see a lot of it in like Spain or anything like that. Those northern countries, though. You got to be a northern country so you can get the natural ice outside. Lace the skates up.
Cut some of the expenses at least.
Yeah, like it's just definitely more popular in the States, like in the Minnesota or even New York and the Chicago and stuff like that, where it's you get a proper winter. But hockey fans can sometimes be jaded. Not a big sport down in South America. I mean, hey, look, that's why soccer, football, for my the rest of the world is the most popular. All you need is something that resembles a ball.
4 traffic cones and a ball, and you're good to go.
Don't even need that.
You're like, nope.
Kick the can, man. They play with like people play with fucking anything. It's just easy to get into.
Yeah, man.
Sportsing, go sports.
Go sports. Well,
yeah. On that note, let's
iron ore, my friend.
Well, yeah, go play the Etherex game.
Yeah.
On that note, it is. We didn't even do an intro. Hey, welcome to the episode 135 of the AlphaMint Morning Show. I'm your host, R2DGen, and I'm joined with me, as always, by Free Market Capitalist.
Hey now.
There we go. Nailed it. On that note, we are going to wrap it up. I've said on that note at least 6 times now, so let's actually do this. Crypto market doing the crab thing, going sideways, but man, the volatility has been straight up, straight down, and sideways in between. So we will look to break out of that range. It can't do it forever. Whether that means it's going to go up or going to go down is for you to decide. We talked about the test net merge for ETH 2.0 is coming up soon. And by soon, I mean in the next 24 hours. Probably have something to say about it on the show tomorrow. If it's a disaster or if it's working well, again, remains to be seen. We talked about crypto.
Okay, a disaster. We're not on those ends of the spectrum, everybody.
You know what? I'm just so like this market has programmed me to be like it's up or it's down. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna
liquidated for the entertainment. You're like that.
Oh, sorry, I'm manifesting it. Yeah, no, it's good, guys. Don't worry, it's gonna work. I have full faith that it's gonna go well. PayPal is letting people move their crypto off of their network, so that's kind of pretty bullish in terms of reducing friction. We talked about we are all gonna die. We didn't talk about Pablo, but Pablo was a bit of a cook yesterday.
Yeah, big yesterday. Shout out Drizzy.
Begin as nothing. That was a topic, and then of course the Telegram leaks that I think we just provided some color on. I don't know where that's going, but everybody seems either thoroughly entertained or panicked. So we'll watch that from the sidelines with the popcorn and let you all know as more stuff comes out of that. Guys, thank you so much for your time and your love. Always appreciated. If you want to throw us a like down at the bottom, it's greatly appreciated, but never required. You guys are honestly the best. We appreciate it so much. Free market. Get us out of here.
Good luck at the tables, D-Gens.